things about a very heavy concept in our deen, something that is talked about a lot in the Quran. And unfortunately, at least in my own observation, and Allah Azza wa Jal knows best, in my own observation, the average Muslim is very confused about this particular issue that has to do with our faith, because it comes up in conversation. And it's something that actually a lot of people get hurt by because they don't understand it properly. And the subject of the khutbah today really is, why bad things happen. Why do bad things happen? And if we don't understand the issue properly as a matter of faith, then sometimes we say things to other people who are suffering from bad things, and we end up saying things that can really mess them up. Like for instance, just recently I was with some distant family, and we were talking, and we were talking about our late grandmother. And she passed away, rahimahullah. And she had some difficulty before she passed away, and one of the cousins in the family somewhere thinks, she had these difficulties because when she was younger she used to be really mean to some other aunt or somebody, and that's why Allah put her through this at the end of her life. And they just say these things. They just say them. But actually these things are they're very hurtful to say, first of all, and to speak about the fact that Allah is punishing someone, especially someone who's passed away. But actually I came to realize that in our conversations among each other, we say these kinds of things to each other all the time. You know why this is happening to you? Because Allah is very angry with you. And actually I've even seen sometimes parents use this against their children. You know why you fell down the stairs? Because yesterday I told you to finish your breakfast, you didn't finish, this Allah is punishing you. This is why bad things happen to you, because you didn't listen to me. Husbands and wives use this against each other. They'll use it against each other. And these are matters of iman. So we have to really properly understand. Now when I say bad things, I'm not just talking about small little things. Right? I'm talking about small things, but I'm also talking about big things. And I'm not just talking about things that happen to us as individuals. Because as individuals, ma'adallah, somebody may have been in a car accident, somebody may have been diagnosed with a difficult disease, somebody may have had to go for surgery or something, somebody may have lost a family member, or somebody ended up in the hospital or something, or somebody lost a job and their financial difficulty, or they lost their house because it went in foreclosure or something like that. But there are also problems and calamities at the level of communities and towns. A flood comes and hits a city, and the entire city is devastated, or an earthquake comes and hundreds of thousands of people are devastated, or war breaks out between nations, or civil war breaks out, and what used to be a peaceful neighborhood is now under fire, is completely burnt to the ground. You wouldn't recognize the place from a day before and the day after. So these things are at the level of the individual on a daily basis, and also at a higher level. Now, I want to start at the individual level, and probably in this khutbah we'll only really get to talk about the individual level. And that's important because even in casual conversation, not just about others, I've even heard Muslims, with my own ears, we'll be driving, or we'll get late for work or something, Allah is just in a bad mood with me today. Allah is putting me through some, I don't know what I've done, and Allah is just angry at me. And people talk like this about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You didn't get up early enough, you took the wrong highway, you didn't listen to the news report about there's an accident on this highway, and now you get to blame Allah Azza wa Jal for what's happening to you. So now in this regard, first of all, it's a complex issue. Second of all, there are tons of ayat, not one or two ayat, there are literally dozens of ayat on the concept of al-musibah. Al-musibah, and I'll describe what that is. I think Urdu speakers here assume they know what it means. Musibah is like a calamity or a terrible thing that happens. وَفِي الْعَرَبِيَّةِ الْمُعَاصِرَةِ أَيْضًا نَسْتَعْمِلُهَا فِي هَذِهِ الْمَعَانِي. We use the word in the similar meaning in Arabic. يعني هذه مصيبة, this is a big disaster. This is a calamity. But in Old Arabic actually, let's start with the definition of this word. Musibah comes from the Arabic verb asaba. And asaba is to hit a target. When you hit the target perfectly, then that hitting of the target and hitting exactly where it was supposed to hit is called sawab, which is why another word for correct in Arabic is sawab, sahih, right? So hitting the correct target is the act of isaba. Now the word musibah is something that hits you and hit you exactly where it was supposed to hit you. So the first thing we learn from Allah Azza wa Jal using this term to describe what happens to us. It's a karitha, it's a haditha, it is a waqi'ah, it is something bad that happened, something terrible that happened, su happened. Allah doesn't use those terms. Most of the time He uses the term al-musibah. Why? Because Allah is describing that as far as His qadr is concerned, as far as His planning is concerned, this was like an arrow that was shot and it was supposed to hit you, exactly when and where and how deep and how badly, it was all decided. It is perfect hit. Perfect hit. Then the ta marbuta also at the end of this word, we don't say musib, we say musibah. By adding a ta marbuta, it adds the concept of al-hadath, meaning every single issue. Every single thing. You know how you think, well, first thing that happened was my transmission went bad. Then the next thing that happened as a result was I was late to the meeting. Then the next thing as a result of being late to the meeting, I lost my job. Then as a result, I got divorced. Then as a result, then as a result, then as a result. There was a brother I met not too long ago who had some issue with his passport, and as a result of his issue, he lost his passport. As a result of that, he lost his job. And as a result of that, he got into arguments with his wife, and he blames the passport company. Or the people that were applied for his visa. They cost me my marriage, they cost me my job, they cost me everything. So they tie all of these strings together, cause and effect, cause and effect, cause and effect. All of it is because of this one thing. And we do this too. But Allah Azza wa Jalla is calling each and every difficulty individual. They are not a result of each other, they are a result of Allah's allowance. Allah Azza wa Jalla allows every single one of those events to happen. There are people who go through exactly the same situation as you, but the same things don't happen. That chain of events doesn't happen. Allah decrees something else for them. So that's the first thing to note about the word musibah. It is specific, it is targeted to you. The two ayat, of the dozens of ayat, the two ayat that we should never ever forget about the word musibah. Allah Azza wa Jal first of all says, in these ayat that I recited to you in Baqarah, He says, وَبَشِّرِ الصَّابِرِينَ. Congratulate the people who have sabr. What strange language Allah Azza wa Jal uses. When you and I have a difficulty, we're supposed to have sabr. You don't have sabr when you're happy. You're supposed to have sabr when you're upset, when something is wrong, when something goes badly. You were supposed to graduate, it got delayed, you didn't pass a class. You're supposed to have a little bit of sabr. You got sick, you're supposed to have sabr. Some bad thing happened and you're supposed to have sabr. Now you tell me, you and I, when we speak to each other and somebody is in a situation when they're supposed to have sabr, like you're in a situation or I'm in a situation where the advice is I should have sabr. You don't go to that person and say congratulations. You know, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Akhi, I feel terrible about what happened. I pray Allah gives you sabr. You don't smile at them, you don't congratulate them. Now when do you congratulate someone? You congratulate someone when there's a happy occasion, when things went according to plan. You applied for the job and the job came through and you got the job. You applied for a raise and you got a raise. You were looking to get married and the thing is settled. When things work out, then you congratulate each other. Look at the language of Allah Azza wa Jal. He says, وَبَشِّرِ الصَّابِرِينَ. Congratulate the people who have sabr. Subhanallah. Why? Because of the belief, for a believer, the attitude is entirely different. Maybe the whole ordeal, the entire trouble you are going through, the goal of it all was one thing, so you could have sabr. Because if you can have sabr, you are worthy of congratulations. We think the goal was this thing you were going to get in dunya. Maybe I thought the goal was to get the job. Maybe I thought the goal was to make the sale. But maybe to Allah, the real goal is you were going to learn sabr. That's a bigger goal than anything else. Subhanallah. And if you got that goal, you should be congratulated.